What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy D Brown here today to do my recap of the divisional round of the NFL playoffs. And let's get right into it. First things first, it was a very underwhelming round of the playoffs, a very underwhelming weekend. I thought games would be much closer. I thought we'll have more fireworks, more of what happened last year when it was Kansas City versus the Bills and that straight fist fight against uh Mahomes and Josh Allen. I thought we was going to get a little bit of that based on the matchups this weekend. Not so much for the Giants, but for all the other games. But it was anything but that. But let's just get into it. First things first, we had the Chiefs versus the Jaguars. That game didn't go as much as I expected it to, but I did expect the Chiefs to win. I did choose them to win. You could check out that video I did on the preview of the divisional round. Link in the description. Check that out. I did a preview on that last week and I went 4 for 4. But anyways, getting back into it, I thought the Chiefs would win, but I thought they would beat them a little bit by a little bit more points. And I also kind of thought that if they if the game went in the Jaguars' favor in terms of them playing well, I thought that they would lose by maybe a field goal, and it almost came to that. But I really thought the Chiefs would blow them out. Thought Patrick Mahomes would step on their necks, but it wasn't that. Um, Partially to the fact that he got hurt, but even though he went down with a little, well, not a little, but a significant ankle injury, the backup came in and he did pretty good as well. So they had to handle that business against the Jaguars, which is, you know, not shocking, but not expected. I expected them to blow the doors off the Jaguars. And the Jaguars had a couple of opportunities to win that game. Specifically, on one of the more important plays of the game, Trevor Lawrence had Kristen Kirk running up the field. I think it's for maybe a 60-something yard throw, and he dropped it. He dropped it. Could have scored a touchdown there, and possibly, we might be talking about something different. And then on another occasion, you had Jamal Agnew, who did really well in the return game for the Jaguars, fumbled the ball in the red zone, took his eyes off the ball before securing it, and fumble. And if they score there, which they probably would have scored because they was riding a little bit of a momentum, we might be talking about something completely different. But that's how the game of football goes, man. One or two plays might not go your way, and that could cost you the game, just like that. And Mahomes and them, they took advantage of the opportunity and they put the game away. That's what good teams do. They handle their business. Kudos to Travis Kelce. That dude is a 7-11. He's always open. It's like he isn't playing the same game as every other tight end in the league. This dude just knows how to find any open spot. Once you play zone against Kansas City, just know that Travis Kelce is going to find somewhere to be open. This dude don't even. I tweeted, Travis Kelce don't even run routes. Travis Kelce just finds the open spot. Like if he have a 4 or 5 yard hitch or a slant, and he sees somebody in the area, he'll cut the whole route off, stop right there, pick up 9 yards, and he just do that, get you 2 touchdowns, boom, they beat you. It's so like crazy to find a tight end that good, a player that just plays the game on a different level than anybody else. And that dude isn't playing the same football that everybody else is playing. That dude playing his own game and he excelling at it. I just don't like the Chiefs because I'm Broncos country, but you got to give respect where respect is due. That dude is playing a different game, man, honestly. But the Chiefs come up with that win. They advance to the AFC Championship for like the 4th or 5th time. Or every time Mahomes has started the season, they make the AFC Championship at least. And it's infuriating as a Broncos fan, but enough respect to them. You have to give them their respect. They do what they do. They handle business, and they're a successful team because of it. But moving on to the Giants versus the Eagles, that game went exactly how I expected it to go. Didn't expect the Giants to put up much of a fight. Like I said, my previous video, again, link in the description. Check that out. What Daniel Jones did against Minnesota, I just knew it wouldn't be replicated because he had 300 passing yard games this season. Two was against Minnesota, whose defense is horrible. And the next one was against the Detroit Lions, whose defense is also horrible, especially at that time. They came together at the end of the season, but at that time, they was giving up 30 points a game. And I just know it would be no way Daniel Jones replicate that same performance, especially with the Eagles having tape on him. They knew his legs would be a problem. They didn't allow him to kill him on the ground like Minnesota did. Didn't allow none of that. And the leadership and great play of Jalen Hurts, even though he didn't have this spectacular game, he brings a sense of calmness within that organization. People feel confident when he's back. Looks like he's getting back to his old self. He took a few hits on that shoulder. He powered through. Lane Johnson came by. He played great, even with an abdominal injury. You know, respect to him. One of the best right tackles I ever watched play. And they took care of business. Like I said, good teams take care of business. And the Chiefs and the Eagles, they did just that. They did just that. Like from the very beginning, Hurts deep pass to Devontae Smith, and then the next pass to Dallas Goedert. Boom, they in there. From that very moment, I know they would win. From that first drive, first touchdown, I know it was game over. Nothing much to say about that game. That went just as pretty much everybody except for Skip Bayless predicted it to go, right? So moving on to the Bengals versus the Bills game. Now, that game actually went how I expected it to go because I was already down on the Bills based on their previous performances leading up to this game. I thought they would lose that first time they played when the tragic thing happened to D Hamlin. They almost lost last week to a third string QB. I mean, a completely irrelevant quarterback, no disrespect to him, but they almost lose to that guy. And if he didn't throw two interceptions and Waddle and Hill didn't drop passes to start that game off, they might have literally lost that game. And like if a Tua, even if a Teddy was there, Teddy ain't all that good of a quarterback, but he don't be turning the ball over. Trust me, I know. He played for the Broncos for a whole season. The dude he's the safest quarterback in the NFL for sure. He don't turn that ball over. And if they had one of those quarterbacks, they would have beat the Bills last week. So there's no way in my mind I thought that the Bills would beat the Bengals. And if you're a football fanatic like I am, anyone who studied this game in and out knows momentum shifts, knows flow of the game. Anybody who knows enough about football from that first drive when they just march right down the field and pose their will on the Bills defense and the Bills front line with backup old linemen, talking about running on them at will. And then that run turned into open guys down the field from that first drive. I knew it was over. It just solidified it when he hit Hayden Hurst for the second touchdown and it was 14-0. I know the game was over. Didn't matter. I knew it was no chance. I just knew any football fanatic just knew it was no chance that they would come back in that game. No chance. Even when it was 17-10, we all knew there was no chance they would come back in that game, and that game was over. Joe Burrow, to me, is the best quarterback in the league. I don't care. But nobody say, yeah, I can't argue against you if you choose Mahomes, but to me, it's Joe Burrow. It's like that dude, after only 2 times being in the playoffs, he's 5-1. 5-1. Like that dude, he's ain't phased by anything. Like the new Tom Brady, that dude is not phased by anything. And I think this week they're going to beat the Kansas City Chiefs again. More on that in a video that I have coming up later on in the week, previewing the AFC NFC championship round. But kudos to the Bills. Sorry, kudos to the Bengals. Pretty good. And they look like they turn it into a juggernaut of a franchise. And if they win this following week, they are the new team to beat. Forget Kansas City. It's the Bengals. But moving on to the last game, we have the 49ers versus the Cowboys. And I originally chose the 49ers because, for one simple fact, man, Dak Prescott, like I said in my previous video, again, check the link in the description. Go look at my preview for the divisional round. I said Dak Prescott, I can't trust him because he's been too inconsistent this season. The game before the playoffs against the Washington Commanders, he looked horrible. Then he looked great against the Tampa Bay, but they're not a good team. I could not trust that. And just like I thought, he went out there, threw 2 interceptions, barely did anything, and they lost the game. I thought it was a chance that the Cowboys could upset the 49ers, which is another thing that I said because I'm not certain that Brock Purdy is going to keep up this magical play that he was doing, and he didn't really have a good game. So, but the Cowboys didn't really take advantage because of their QB, who I think needs to be traded because it ain't working out there. But 49ers pull out the win. They didn't look great doing it because the Cowboys defense is quite impressive, but they kind of fizzled out at the end and they allowed them to develop a little bit of a momentum and the run game started to work. Once that happened, it was game over because the Cowboys, they couldn't score. They couldn't score. Dak couldn't get the ball down the field. He was just bad. Don't know if that's a testament to the 49ers defense being so good like they've been all year, but Dak was just bad. And yeah, I don't think you could really win with a QB like that. But kudos to the 49ers for winning. But anyways, though, that's just my reaction to the divisional round portion of the playoffs this year. It was a very underwhelming weekend, but I think the NFC AFC championships will be a little bit better. Let's hope for that. But thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe for more videos in the future. Peace.